The Perks of Being a Wallflower, October 6, 1991. Dear friend, I feel very ashamed. I went to the high school football game the other day, and I don't know exactly why. In middle school, Michael and I would go to the game sometimes, even though neither of us were popular enough to go. It was just a place to go on Fridays when we didn't want to watch television. Sometimes we would see Susan there, and she and Michael would hold hands. But this time I went alone because Michael is gone, and Susan hangs around different boys now. And Bridget is still crazy, and Carl's mom sent him to Catholic school, and Dave, with the awkward glasses, moved away. I was just kind of watching people, seeing who was in love and who was just hanging around. And I saw that kid I told you about. Remember nothing? Nothing was there at the football game, and he was one of the few people who was not an adult that was actually watching the game. I mean, really watching the game. He would yell things out. Come on, Brad. That's the name of our quarterback. Now, normally I'm very shy, but nothing seemed like the kind of guy you could just walk up to at a football game, even though you were 3 years younger and not popular. Hey, you're in my shop class. He's a very friendly person. I'm Charlie, I said, not too shy. And I'm Patrick, and this is Sam. He pointed to a very pretty girl next to him, and she waved to me. Hey, Charlie. Sam had a very nice smile. They both told me to have a seat, and they both seemed to mean it, so I took a seat. I listened to nothing yell at the field, and I listened to his play by play analysis, and I figured out that this was a kid who knew football very well. He actually knew football as well as my brother. Maybe I should call nothing Patrick from now on, since that is how he introduced himself. And that is what Sam calls him. Incidentally, Sam has brown hair and very, very pretty green eyes. The kind of green that doesn't make a big deal about itself. I would have told you that sooner, but under the stadium lights, everything looked kind of washed out. It wasn't until we went to the big boy and Sam and Patrick started to chain smoke that I got a good look at her. The nice thing about the big boy was the fact that Patrick and Sam didn't just throw around inside jokes and make me struggle to keep up, not at all. They asked me questions. How old are you, Charlie? 15. What do you want to do when you grow up? I don't know just yet. What's your favorite band? I think maybe the Smiths because I love their song Asleep. But I'm really not sure one way or the other because I don't know any other songs by them too well. What's your favorite movie? I don't really know. They all look the same to me. How about your favorite book? This Side of Paradise by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Why? Because it was the last one I read. This made them laugh because they knew I meant it honest, not show off. Then they told me their favorites and we sat quiet. I ate the pumpkin pie because the lady said it was in season and Patrick and Sam smoked more cigarettes. I looked at them and they looked really happy together, a good kind of happy. And even though I thought Sam was very pretty and nice and she was the first girl I ever wanted to ask on a date someday when I can drive, I did not mind that she had a boyfriend, especially if he was a good guy like Patrick. How long have you been going out? I asked. Then they started laughing, really laughing hard. What's so funny? I said. We're brother and sister, Patrick said, still laughing. But you don't look alike, I said. That's when Sam explained that they were actually stepsister and stepbrother since Patrick's dad married Sam's mom. I was very happy to know that because I would really like to ask Sam on a date someday. I really would. She's so nice. I feel ashamed though because that night I had a weird dream. I was with Sam, and we were both naked, and her legs were spread over the sides of the couch, and I woke up. And I had never felt that good in my life. But I also felt bad because I saw her naked without her permission. I think that I should tell Sam about this, and I really hope it does not prevent us from maybe making up inside jokes of our own. It would be very nice to have a friend again. I would like that even more than a date. Love always, Charlie. October 14th, 1991. Dear friend, do you know what masturbation is? I think you probably do because you're older than me. But just in case, I will tell you. Masturbation is when you rub your genitals until you have an orgasm. Wow. I thought that in those movies and television shows when they talk about having a coffee break that they should have a masturbation break. Then again, I think this would decrease productivity. I'm only being cute here. I don't really mean it. I just wanted to make you smile. I meant the wow though. I told Sam that I dreamt that she and I were naked on the sofa and I started crying because I felt bad. And do you know what she did? She laughed. Not a mean laugh either, a really nice, warm laugh. She said that she thought I was being cute. And she said it was okay that I had a dream about her. And I stopped crying. Sam then asked me if I thought she was pretty, and I told her I thought she was lovely. Sam then looked me right in the eye. You know, you're too young for me, Charlie. You do know that. Yes, I do. I don't want you to waste your time thinking about me that way. I won't. It was just a dream. Sam then gave me a hug, and it was strange because my family doesn't hug a lot except my Aunt Helen. But after a few moments, I could smell Sam's perfume and I could feel her body against me, and I stepped back. Sam, I am thinking about you that way. She just looked at me and shook her head. Then she put her arm around my shoulder and walked me down the hallway. We met Patrick outside because they didn't like to go to class sometimes. They preferred to smoke. Charlie has a Charlie-esque crush on me, Patrick. He does, huh? I'm trying not to, I offered, which just made them laugh. Patrick then asked Sam to leave, which she did, and he explained some things to me so I would know how to be around other girls and not waste my time thinking about Sam that way. Charlie, has anyone told you how it works? I don't think so. Well, there are rules you follow here, not because you want to, but because you have to. You get it? I guess so. Okay, you take girls for example. They're copying their moms and magazines and everything to know how to act around guys. I thought about the moms and the magazines and the everythings, and the thought made me nervous, especially if it includes TV. I mean, it's not like in the movies where girls like assholes or anything like that. It's not that easy. They just like somebody that can give them a purpose. A purpose? Right, girls like guys to be a challenge. It gives them some mold to fit in how they act, like a mom. What would a mom do if she couldn't fuss over you and make you clean your room? And what would you do without her fussing and making you do it? Everyone needs a mom. And a mom knows this and it gives her a sense of purpose. You get it? Yeah, I said, even though I didn't. But I got enough to say yeah and not be lying though. The thing is, some girls think they can actually change guys. And what's funny is that if they actually did change them, they'd get bored. They'd have no challenge left. You just have to give girls some time to think of a new way of doing things. That's all. Some of them will figure it out here, some later, some never. I wouldn't worry about it too much. But I guess I did worry about it. I've been worrying about it ever since he told me. I look at people holding hands in the hallways and I try to think about how it all works. At the school dances, I sit in the background and I tap my toe and I wonder how many couples will dance to their song. In the hallways, I see the girls wearing the guys' jackets and I think about the idea of property. And I wonder if anyone is really happy. I hope they are. I really hope they are. Bill looked at me, looking at people, and after class, he asked me what I was thinking about, and I told him. He listened and he nodded and made affirmation sounds. When I had finished, his face changed into a serious talk face. Do you always think this much, Charlie? Is that bad? I just wanted someone to tell me the truth. Not necessarily, it's just that sometimes people use thought to participate in life, to not participate in life. Is that bad? Yes. I think I participate though. Don't you think I am? Well, are you dancing at these dances? I'm not a very good dancer. Are you going on dates? Well, I don't have a car, and even if I did, I can't drive because I'm 15. And anyway, I haven't met a girl I like except for Sam, but I'm too young for her, and she would always have to drive, which I don't think is fair. Bill smiled and continued asking me questions. Slowly, he got to problems at home, and I told him about the boy who makes mixtapes hitting my sister because my sister only told me not to tell mom or dad about it, so I figured I could tell Bill. He got this very serious look on his face after I told him, and he said something to me I don't think I will forget this semester or ever. Charlie, we accept the love we think we deserve. I just stood there quiet. Bill patted my shoulder and gave me a new book to read. He told me everything was going to be okay. I usually walk home from school because it makes me feel like I've earned it. What I mean is that I want to be able to tell my kids that I walked to school like my grandparents did in the old days. It's odd that I'm planning this considering I've never had a date, but I guess that makes sense. It usually takes me an extra hour or so to walk as opposed to taking the bus, but it's worth it when the weather is nice and cool like it was today. When I finally got home, my sister was sitting on a chair. My mom and my dad were standing in front of her, and I knew that Bill had called home and told them. and I felt terrible. It was all my fault. My sister was crying. My mom was very, very quiet. My dad did all the talking. He said that my sister was not allowed to see the boy who hit her anymore, and he was going to have a talk with the boy's parents tonight. My sister then said that it was all her fault and she was provoking him, but my dad said it was no excuse. But I love him. I had never seen my sister cry that much. No, you don't. I hate you. No, you don't. My dad can be very calm sometimes. He's my whole world. Don't ever say that about anyone again, not even me. That was my mom. My mom chooses her battles carefully, and I can tell you one thing about my family. When my mom does say something, she always gets her way. And this time was no exception. My sister stopped crying immediately. After that, my dad gave my sister a rare kiss on the forehead. Then he left the house, got in his Oldsmobile, and drove away. I thought he probably was going to talk to the boy's parents, and I felt very sorry for them. From parents, I mean. And I felt very sorry for them, his parents, I mean, because my dad doesn't lose fights. He just doesn't. My mom then went into the kitchen to make my sister's favorite thing to eat, and my sister looked at me. I hate you. My sister said it different than she said it to my dad. She meant it with me. She really did. I love you, was all I could say in return. You're a freak, you know that? You've always been a freak. Everyone says so. They always have. I'm trying not to be. Then I turned around and walked to my room and closed my door and put my head under my pillow and let the quiet put things where they are supposed to be. By the way, I figure you're probably curious about my dad. Did he hit us when we were kids or now even? I just thought you might be curious because Bill was. After I told him about the boy and my sister, well, if you are wondering, he didn't. He never touched my brother or sister. And the only time he ever slapped me was when I made my Aunt Helen cry. And once we all calmed down, he got on his knees in front of me and said that his stepdad hit him a lot. And he decided in college when my mom got pregnant with my older brother that he would never hit his kids. And he felt terrible for doing it. He was so sorry. And he would never hit me again, and he hasn't. He's just stern sometimes. Love always, Charlie.